Today we have the privilege of interviewing Coach Kelly. Hello, Coach Kelly. Thank you for taking time out of your day to do this interview. So, how long have you been a teacher at UPS?
This is my third year of teaching at Windermere Prep.
Can you please tell us a story or experience that you had when you were a student in elementary, middle, or high school that you think students today can gain insight from?
So I think a story that you guys might be able to gain some insight from is when I was a freshman in high school, when I just came in the ninth grade. I had had a very successful academic career up until that time, and I was very excited to be both, going on to high school and also finally playing high school football. And I really wanted to dedicate my time to making myself the best athlete possible. So I had my parents purchased me a membership to a gym. My high school was too small, we didn't have a weight room, so every day after school I would get on the bus, take the bus to the gym, lift weights, come home, eat dinner, all that kind of stuff, and whatever time was left is what I used for academics. And I quickly found out that that was a poor plan because it was the first time I ever failed a class, and I failed history. Funny enough, as a freshman in high school, because I wasn't dedicating my time properly and I was more focused on the athlete than the student. And I had to do basically a 180, and I had to realize that I had to dedicate my time to my academics, and then whatever was left over, I could use that time to pursue my athletic career.
Over the past few years, you have also been a football coach. Now, being a football coach must be time consuming, and on top of that, you also have to teach. Do you have any tips for students on time management?
Yeah, I think that kind of tying on to what I just previously answered, you guys have to learn balance, and you have to be able to dedicate your time to everything that you want to do, but you have to do it equally and kind of prioritize. Whatever you need the most help in or whatever you have the most commitment to is where you should dedicate that majority of your time. So if I'm a teacher first before I'm a football coach, so I'm going to dedicate my time to teaching and make sure I'm ready for the next day with lesson plans and grading and all that kind of stuff. And whatever time I have left is what I can dedicate to football. And on top of that, you got to be sure to not stretch yourself too thin, because if we're doing all this stuff, we're only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. Eventually that's going to catch up with us, and everything we're doing is going to start to deteriorate because we don't have the energy and we're not focused, we're too tired. So definitely balance and managing your time and prioritize. What's most important, what do I have to be doing now? And then kind of build back from there and try to fit in everything else you can.
Based on your experience in high school, do you think that high school is harder today or in the past?
I would say that high school is definitely, especially here at Windermere Prep, much more challenging than my high school was. And I think what you guys are asked to do as ninth graders is very, it's impressive what you guys are able to produce. And I know that we weren't doing anything near that level when I was in ninth grade.
All right, so this is a three-part question. Do you give out more homework than you had when you were a student? Is homework even necessary? And what are your thoughts about this?
I think that I give out less homework than when I was a student, and I think that's partially because I did so much homework as a student. But I think really what I try to do in my class and personally with homework is I try to make it with the flipped classroom that I do, that we do the homework in class, because I feel like students need the most help from their teachers when they're working on that homework, when they're applying what they've been taught. So I really try to focus on not making you guys do too much in terms of homework outside of school, because I'd rather be there with you guys to help you through it.
What are you doing to better prepare 8th graders for high school?
So what we talk about doing in my class in 8th grade is really trying to gradually increase the level of difficulty of assignments that 8th graders are working on. And the reason we do that is, as you guys know, making that transition to 9th grade, your workload definitely goes up, and the level of difficulty of your assignments also goes up. So what we try to do is, starting from the beginning of 8th grade year, gradually build and make those assignments a little bit more complicated and a little bit more challenging for the students, so that by the time they get to 9th grade, they've been exposed to that level of rigor in terms of the difficulty of their assignments.
What are some traits that students need in order to be successful in high school?
So I think the number one thing that students need to do to be successful at the high school level is be organized. Right? You're going to have a lot of different classes, a lot of different subjects, a lot of different assignments for each of those classes. So the number one thing you guys need to do is make sure you're keeping everything that you're receiving, all the information, all the due dates, all that kind of stuff organized. Time management is another one. And I think one of the ones that really gets overlooked is being a goal setter. Right? Figure out what it is you want to accomplish with whatever it is you're doing, set that goal, and then set a plan to achieve that goal. By laying out the steps of how you're going to be successful, I think it helps students go a long way in having the most successful high school career possible. Make the classroom as fun as possible. I try to be as engaging with the students as possible, and I try to really get them to discuss as much of the information as we're working on as possible. I don't want passive learners. I don't want to just stand there and talk and have you guys just stare at me and listen and write things down. I'm much more interested in discussing material with you than delivering content to you guys. So I think if I can generate good discussions in the classroom through whether it's debates, role-playing, whatever the case may be, as long as I have you guys handling the information, that's a lot better than me just delivering it to you.
One of the most unique elements of your class are the flip videos. Can you explain what they are and why you use them? And do you think that more teachers at WPS should use this method?
So kind of to tie in with my previous answer, I think the flip videos work for me because I don't want to stand in front of the room and lecture you guys. So my mindset behind using the flip videos is if I can take a chapter, and cut it into 4 pieces and deliver those 4 pieces to you guys in short 4-minute video clips that you will always have at your disposal, you have the opportunity to review that information whenever you want, right? They're always at your fingertips. You can find them through Edmodo. And I also think that gives me more time to work with the content with you guys. Instead of me spending half the class time delivering content, you guys have already seen that content, which gives us the opportunity to work on it during class and get questions answered, and have also, when you guys are studying, you can go back and watch everything I said. And it's not, did I write that down right? Did I miss something in the notes? Anything like that. So I think that goes a long way in helping you learn content, but also reinforce and be able to work with the material.
Do you have any other tips that will help WPS students do better both on the field and in your class?
If you're going to be a student athlete, you need to remember that academics come first and are your number 1 priority, because if your academics slip, you will lose your privilege to be an athlete. So you need to take care of your academics, and on top of that, you need to be organized and make sure you're using proper time management so that you can succeed both in the classroom and on the field.
Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview, and I hope to see you again.
Thank you.